when John and I rolled up our little basket site just for the examples, we bought a softbox on Amazon. What was that? $50?
Yeah, it was a little like I think 20-inch or like 25-inch by 25-inch box that has a LED light on top, and you crank it up and the whole thing glows, and then you can do different backgrounds. I don't know. I think they came out great. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah,
those images were
the lifestyle ones. That was Aaron.
Yeah, that
he
one.
Put those in his living room.
Can you go to the product page?
Yeah. How do I do that?
There it is. No, that was. I think these are all his, but mine looked pretty much identical to that. Like it looked just like that.
Yeah, y'all, this is an Amazon softbox that comes with the lighting in John's iPhone.
Yeah.
And Aaron did the guy who runs our Amazon channel for us. He did the same thing. It's Amazon purchased lighting in his iPhone. So I'm not telling you that these are the greatest images in the whole wide world. I'm just telling you that it's possible. Your smartphone, iPhones and Samsung Galaxy specifically do really well. Use a plain white background. You can buy a plain white background. The backdrops on Amazon, they're about $100. If you get the whole T frame, if you don't, it's like $20 just for the paper that you tape up.
And just as a side note, on Amazon with those pictures, this last year we've sold $16,000 worth of baskets.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, so there's a testament to, like, we're not just saying like, hey, you can kind of get, it can work. Like it worked pretty well. So just as a proof of concept, it was kind of our, like, we don't know what we're doing, so we threw in the white box, and all of a sudden it was great. But we've seen a lot of our clients do it.
Yep. Nia says, I have several types of soft boxes, and the best picks end up being poster board and foam core in natural light. That's really good to know. Thank you for that, Nia. Wanda says, replica surfaces has great backdrops and has a ton of how-to videos. That's awesome. You'll notice here that we say, use daylight as your lighting. This is Yvonne's note, who does really well with photography. You don't need to go out and buy a bunch of lighting or a bunch of lights, as long as you have the ability. No, you got to time it, but as long as you have the ability to capture that natural light. Don't zoom in, it pixelates. Don't use flash because it reflects. And then edit the photos if you can. If you can't, it's cheap. Go to Fiverr. There's a billion people on Fiverr. I bet you there are more people on Fiverr offering image editing services than any other single service. It's like what Fiverr was built for. So Fiverr gigs, there's also Pixie. I don't know what that is, but it looks good. Just know that this is available and accessible to you. What is it?
Yeah, I just found this tool today when I was doing the research, and they just offer bundles. Like you can open the price, and it's like $40 for 100 pictures or something like that, and they will change the color. They will do like everything. You can open, is there pricing or how it works too. So they remove the background, they change the color of the product, they will do whatever it takes. And you can scroll below. I believe there is bundles.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
That's super cool.
So like $4 per image editing. This is decent.
I'll drop that in the chat. Wanda says that she's used them and they're great if you have a big batch to do.
Nice.
Yeah, y'all, I know this is tedious and annoying. It's important. You don't want to drive traffic to a product that people can't see. You especially want people to be able to see details, features. It's the image that tells the story. So even though, and I've had this experience, I think we all have, even though the description says the thing does what it does, I need to see it. I need to see it because that's going to connect those dots for me. So if you have, images that are sparse or that don't necessarily explain everything or don't show texture or don't show some of the functionality, I think you're putting yourself at a disadvantage.
Can I share a site too? This is one of our clients. This is someone that I think does it really well. He was actually on our first 3X Shopify calls, our guest speaker. This one is obviously, kind of a beginning hero image, a lifestyle image. This is the pictures that they take at their house. So they don't have a professional photographer. One of the owners, she actually does all these imagery herself and sends it to her daughter to edit them. So looks amazing. Like you're looking at these things, you're like, wow, these are great imagery. There's a theme, there's something that, when they hover over, there's lifestyle images here. These are actual real customers. But it looks amazing. But when you think about it, it's not that hard. They took some, I'm not sure exactly what that, I forgot what they call that plant, but they just peeled off a couple of rose petals, set it aside, put it on their table, then snap a picture of it and send it off for just kind of color matching. But you can see that this is done really, really well. Like you feel confident in ordering from this place. And that's what's interesting is everyone here has been to the site, been to a site where they look at it and they're like, I don't know if this is like a lot of thought into this company. When you look at this one, like, you know, they stacked some boxes and then they took a picture of it. But there's, you know, there's shadows there. Not everything's perfect. Some images are too small to read, but it doesn't matter. It looks good. And that's where people look and you look at this and you're like, it's colorful. And it looks like they put this in water and then took a picture of it. Not difficult stuff. You're not having, you know, a $50,000 photographer come in and fly you to Bermuda and put it on a beach and just, you know, getting creative with the imagery goes a long way. And in a show of hands or anything, a thumbs up or thumbs down, looking at this imagery here, does anybody feel comfortable buying one of these products? They look like they put some effort and some thought and some quality into their imagery that makes you feel comfortable by giving them your money. And if there's anybody here that says, no, I don't like it because of the imagery, I'd like to know that. I really would. Don't be shy. It's not going to be like, you're wrong. I really want to know that. Because I'm not a very creative person. I'm a data-driven person, as you probably all can imagine. But this looks good to me. I'm like, yeah, that this took some care. I think that these people care about their products. That's what this tells me. They are proud and then they care about their products. So just wanted to give that as an example. It's not super difficult, but it is something that I think, in my opinion, needs to be done. If you're going to spend $200 on a 4-pack of shampoos, you want them to look good.
I think you hit the nail on the head, man, when you said inspire confidence. People want to be confident. Couple of good pro tips. Don says that Suna creates photos for $39 a pick if you want to outsource photography. That seems worth it depending on how many products you have. That's awesome. Mariana says, do you have recommended image size for Shopify products for the carousel? I don't like to upload images that are too big because of site speed, but they need to look good zoomed in. Is there a sweet spot? I don't know the answer to that. Yvonne, do you have any strong knee-jerk? I mean, it kind of depends on the theme, right?
1,000 by 1,000 usually goes good.
1,000 by 1,000
is good enough, because if you will have 500 by 500, it will look good on carousel, but once you open that, it will still be small, right? So usually, like the majority of the sites using 2000 pixel wide screens, not sites users. They use 2000 wide, so it's 1920, I believe. And so 1,000 will have a half of your screen once you open the image. So that's decent. If you will see that you lose quality, you can scale it up. Not that image that you scale down, not the original one. You can just use like 12 by 1200, for example.
And Robin, I do 72. I said 72.
Yeah. Tamika just said the value of the content covered in this course is immeasurable. This course is worth the investment. Thank you, Tamika. High fives.
Yeah.
We're only on
I didn't mean to. Oh, sorry, we're all talking over each other. Sorry about this, everyone. Yvonne, I said 72 DPI just because 300 is print ready. Would you agree?
Oh, Yvonne just said 72.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the standard for web is always 72. So for like photo editing, you will have 300 DPI and etc. But for web, it's always 72.
Yeah, Nia's saying that she disables the zoom in her product images. I think it depends on the product. I think certain products, like, you know, if you have a wool sweater, for instance, I really like to see the texture on something like that. But if you're selling a bottle of perfume, I don't think it's necessary. Savita says, how many pictures per product is recommended or is optimal? Fashion, for example.
We will have in the case studies. I'm not sure if you mentioned that I prepared some great case studies.
Yeah, we've got some solid case studies, Savita, and that will include that as well.
You will see like there are some examples that customer maybe will be able to open. Some of websites use not only images in the preview, but also video, like a GIF, and they upload this. So you see like image, and below you see like, I don't know, person moving in the sweater or whatever. So it gives you a feeling of the product better. And yeah, you will be able to share it later on.
Yeah,
but
I read a case study. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Usually it's about like 5, 7. This is like a good amount. It's not too much, like too few. Depends of how interesting is the product, because there's nothing interested about a coin if you will take like 10 images that there's 2 sides, that's it.
Yeah, Osama said the same thing. No more than 7 product images, depending on research in human psychology. I agree with that. I think 5 to 7 is a really good sweet spot. I read a case study recently that was really interesting. There was an article from Time magazine that said that a human being has less of an attention span than a goldfish. A goldfish has an 8-second attention span, and a human has a 7-second attention span, which automatically is depressing. But what they started to do is somebody, and I wish I could remember the gosh, it might have been Search Engine Journal. I wish I could remember who it was so I could cite them properly. But they started to play with how to improve or increase somebody's time on site or attention on site. And one of the things is what Yvonne just said. If there's any motion in your gallery, if there's any motion, it kind of resets that clock briefly. And so you get another couple of seconds out of somebody because they're going to take the same, you have 7 seconds for them to qualify you as a solution potentially when they land on the page. But if you can show them motion, so a GIF or a video, that motion will be its own 7-second clock. And so you can double the potential time on site by providing motion. Now, here's where things get interesting. I don't anticipate that lasting forever. What ends up happening in the realm of digital marketing is the new thing becomes the ubiquitous truth, and then we all back into it because we're used to it. So, there was this old HubSpot statistic that used to infuriate me. They said that if you use the word watch in the subject line, it increases your open rate by XX%. Well, that only works until everybody does it, and then we're all used to that term being used. So be careful about some of these pro tips, but I do think that using videos and GIFs, especially those that can play automatically, any amount of motion on that page can be really helpful. Lots of chat. Give me just a second. Square Up has a photo studio, which is great. That's awesome. Good link for that, Wanda. Thank you. Robin does 2 body size images, small and plus size, 7 on one product or 7 for each. I think if it's the same product, Robin, and the sizes are changing, I think you can have 7 total. That's my soft opinion. John, agree, disagree?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a measurable impact on too many images.
Yeah.
So, if you're getting great images and you have, front, side, back, on people, off people, whatever it may be, I'd say that, err to the more images than less. But I would say that it's not, I haven't seen, a person that has a slideshow with tons of images that it hasn't worked. Comes to mind, they have a lot of lifestyle images and product images on their pages, and it works really well. It's 400% ROAS for going on 2 years now. And so,
he was just in a Netflix movie. He was in, what was it, Yvonne? He was in the
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Yeah.
His hat was featured there. But another
we
good.
Got him that.
What's that?
I like to think that we got him that.
It was all us. Yeah. No. I'll share my screen here. This is a company called Notch. This is who we market for, and they have this cool notch here. And what we saw was using live chat. People were saying, "Can I open my beer on these notches?" And that was the common misconception, because there was hats out there that have beer bottle openers on their hat, and you can pop open a beer on them. And so what we did is he created this image here, and this is what their value proposition is. It doesn't interfere with your sunglasses. And so using a close-up of the notch to show that it's leather stitched, and then showing the functionality of it was really cool. So that when you looked at their main product image, you can see the sunglasses and the hat. This is it was driven towards people that are like outdoors and more tactical type of people. And so like hunters and shooters have to wear safety goggles or safety glasses. They use these hats right here so that it doesn't interfere with their glasses. But again, it was just a lot of imagery to explain the features was something that helped a lot in their business. So if you have a product that takes a little bit more explanation, pictures are great. Again, like I said, with, same thing with Google is, we want to speak to these people on a lower level initially, just because they might be half paying attention. So a picture showing, here's how this works. Oh, okay, now I got it.